Hey everyone, welcome back to LowKick MMA. My name's Alex Lerman, and today I'm joined by Brady Bam Bam Hiestand. Brady, how you doing today, my man?
I'm doing good. How you doing, brother?
I'm good, all good here. So let's get right into it. So right now, I know you're training over at Sick Jitsu in Spokane. How's that
Yes,
camp
sir.
going so far, and how has it differed from any camps in the past?
It's going great. I got good partners. I'm back working with my buddy Sam Cecilia, obviously Ashton Charlton, one of my really good buddies, is always in the gym. And I think the biggest difference in this camp, opposed to any other, is that, Mike Chiesa, he trains at my gym, and so he's getting ready for his fight against the Leech April 8th. So we're kind of like our camps are overlapping. So I think that's the biggest difference. I haven't been in a camp at the same time as another teammate, especially Mike. So it's gonna be something new.
All right. So we're about what, 2 months out from the fight, right? How you feeling physically and mentally leading up to the fight?
I feel great. I feel like, a big thing with my last fight was just seeing how my knee held up because I had ACL surgery and it did really well. And I what I've noticed is it's got stronger and stronger as I've got, farther away from my surgery. So, I feel good. My body feels good. My mind feels right, and I'm ready to go.
Awesome. Love to hear that. Well, now let's get into your opponent. I'm just going to call him Danaa for the sake of not butchering his name.
Dude, me.
What do you yeah, what do you expect to see from him in this fight? How do you think the fight will play out, and how do you see yourself getting your hand raised in the end?
I think he's a great fighter and I think he has really good stand up. I think this is a good, important fight for him. I think every fight in the UFC is important, but this is definitely important because he's coming off 2 fight lose streak. But yeah, I don't take anything away from him because he's fought tough guys, and lost to like Christian Gutierrez, and his last one against Kang was both banger fights. But I think he's gonna go out there and try to make a statement and get in the win column. So I'm expecting him to come out hot and be ready for some big overhand rights and some big left hooks. So, but I see this fight going good. I feel like I'm going to stay measured. I made a little bit of a mistake in my last fight with Fernie. Got caught a little bit, but I think my defense is solid, and who knows? Maybe I'll take him down. Maybe I'll stay standing. I guess we'll have to wait and see.
All right, can't wait to see that. So,
Yeah.
first UFC fight outside of the Apex. This one's going down in Kansas City at the T-Mobile Center. What are your thoughts and emotions on performing in front of a crowd?
I'm excited to get out. Actually, I think this one is at the Apex. So they moved my fight. It's not on
Oh, they
April
moved it. Okay.
April 15th, which is like a bummer because I was actually looking forward to fighting in front of a crowd, but I think we're back at Apex. I fought all my fights in the UFC at the Apex, so it's nothing new.
Yeah, it's familiar ground for you, I guess, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. So obviously we can't get too ahead of ourselves. You just got to focus on this fight at hand. But given you get the win after this one, what are some logical step ups in competition that you would like to see, or even just a fun fight that you'd like to see for yourself?
I think there's a lot of fun fights. Like there's like 80 of us in the bantamweight division right now. But I think after I win this one, a good next step up is, I want to go and like I think one more fight after this, then I want to start shooting for the top 15 and then climb from there. But there's so many, tough fights, I don't give a shit. I'll go out there and fight anybody. So just bring them.
Any names that stick out that come to the top of your head, or no?
I've always like I want to fight a lot of people, but I'm always down to rematch Ricky. I think that was a banger fight in the Ultimate Fighter finale. I was a little bit injured. I don't like taking a loss. I'd love to get that one back. Um, Another fight is there's another guy that I lost to. He's in the UFC, so I wouldn't mind rematching him. Make it a clean sweep, redeem all my losses. The last guy I lost to before Ricky, I was 19 and I took it on a 2 weeks notice, so I'm looking to get that one back as well.
All right. So speaking of Ricky, brought me to my next question right away. So what have you learned about yourself as a fighter and a person since that tough final loss to Ricky? And yeah.
A big thing, I think the biggest thing I took away from the show is knowing that I can compete with anyone in the world. I went into that show with very little experience. I was the youngest guy. I was 21 years old in the house. I had the shortest record. I only had 5 fights in total. I was slated to lose it, right off the bat, especially who I fought, a guy with I think he was 16-3 at the time. And so after going out there and winning that one and then beating another guy, Vince Murdoch from, Team Alpha Male, and then coming up just barely short in a fight that I personally think I won against Ricky Turcios. I think it gave me a lot of confidence, but it also gave me a lot of things to work on. And so since then, I just, I put all my effort, all the eggs in one basket and, focused all my energy on becoming the best in the world.
Awesome. So, do you have any funny stories from the Tough House? Anything that you remember that sticks with you?
Yeah, there's this there's this one story. It's actually, I don't know if you remember Dustin Lampros. He was on my team and he was one of the
Hmm.
35ers. But he chugged an entire fifth of Fireball. So what happened was we were getting ready to go for the coaches challenge, and it sounds way crazier, but we were going to the coaches challenge and he finds this bottle of Fireball and it was actually almost empty. What he
Mm.
did is he put a bunch of water in there and he kind of put a little Gatorade, dyed it so it looked like it was an entire fifth of fire or not Fireball, Howlerhead. It was Howlerhead, so Dana White's Howlerhead. And so we all got there, and he like was gonna play a prank on everybody. Everyone got there, getting ready to go to the coach challenge. He like took a knee and chugged the entire bottle, and didn't tell anybody. I think it was only me and him, and then Mitch that knew that it wasn't actually all Fireball, and everyone was like, "No way." That's crazy. What the fuck? You don't keep an eye on Scrappy. And he started like acting a little drunk, just like
Yeah,
playing
yeah.
with. They ended up telling Dana White, the fact that he chugged the Howler head, and Dana White walked up and gave him 4 grand. He's
No
like, "You're crazy,
way.
kid," and gave him 4 grand. I'm surprised they didn't put that in the show, but yeah, he walked up to him, gave him 4 grand, and Dustin was like, looked at us, and we're like, "We're not telling anybody." It was
That's
pretty
hilarious.
hilarious. Yeah.
Wow, that's that's hilarious. Got everyone. So, on a more serious note now, let's bring it down. What do you think in general sets you apart? Because the bantamweight division, as you said, there's 80 of you guys. It's a super stacked division in the UFC. What do you think sets you apart from all the other bantamweights?
I feel like you said, it's such a stacked division, but obviously there's guys younger than me, but I'm really young for the division. I'm 23. I got a lot of growing. I feel like I'm a well-rounded fighter. I got good strikes, good kicks. I got phenomenal. I feel like my grappling's the highest in the division. I've grappled with some of these good guys like Marab and Aljamain, and I feel confident in my abilities, and so I think that's one thing that I have all the time in the world to get to the championship, but I feel like I have the skills now to do it.
Certainly, yeah, your time is definitely on your side, my man. So, speaking of time, how active do you plan on being in 2023? How many fights do you want this year? I know, obviously, first fight in April, a couple months down, but what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I'm hoping to just rattle them off, at least 4 fights this year. I just want to keep the ball rolling, keep climbing these rankings, and hopefully I'm in the top 10 by the end of the year.
All right. So now let's look ahead to the future a little bit. I know you're still young, but got a long way to go. What are your long-term goals in general in your MMA career, and how do you want to be remembered?
I want to create a legacy. I want to be, one of the, I want a GOAT status. I want to be able to come in, put on a performance, be entertaining, be, all legends in the sport, and then, maybe move up to 145. I'm a big 35er, and I think as I get older, I'll have to move up. And so dominating both bantamweight and featherweight is the goal, and creating a legacy that, lives past my lifetime. That's
Okay,
what I'm looking.
maybe a little double champ in your future. Okay, I see you.
Yeah. You
I
never
like that.
know. You never
Yeah, yeah,
know.
yeah. Of course. So now I ask a lot of fighters this question, and I love hearing the differing perspectives from both sides. So in general, would you rather in a fight have a quick finish or a dominant unanimous decision win where you're literally dominant the entire time?
Ooh, that's a good one. I think quick finishes all day.
Hmm.
I'm in there to get paid. I want to go in there, and I'm not paid by the minute. I'm not even paid by the hour. So might as well just go in there and get the finish. Plus, it shows dominance. I feel like you go in there, get a quick finish, and just rattling it off. That shows that you're a dominant fighter, and people, it's intimidating.
Absolutely, I agree 100%. Um,
Yeah.
so now outside of MMA, what do you like to do to keep yourself busy these days?
Yeah. I mean, I'm training all the time, but what I like to do outside, I ski. I've been skiing. It's the only sport I've been doing longer than MMA. So I've been skiing since I was 18 months old. And so, especially right now, we got a lot of snow on the mountains out here in Washington. So I've been going up skiing almost every weekend.
Nice. Yeah, I'm a little bit of a snowboarder myself, but I'm on the East Coast, so you know how that goes.
Yeah, not as good, unfortunately, but you got to make it out here to the Pacific Northwest. It's really good snow over here.
Yeah. Have you been skiing Colorado anywhere?
No, that's the one place I haven't been. You know, I've been up to Canada to like Red Mountain and some of those big mountains up there, but I've never been to Colorado. I've heard great things though. Seen
Yeah,
some crazy videos.
I was out there last year. You got to go. It doesn't matter what mountain, just the Colorado Rockies are different. So
Is it
different.
just a little different out there?
Yeah, yep. Snow's better, obviously higher elevation and all that, but I had a great time. Um,
Yeah.
so now before I let you go, obviously last Saturday we had a huge super fight, Volk versus Islam. Volk being a former coach on Tough.
Yes,
Um,
sir.
what did you think of the fight? And obviously a lot of controversial opinions out there. Who do you think won?
You know, I thought the fight was legendary. It was like one of the most competitive matches ever. And the fact that Volk went up to 55 and was so undersized makes it even that much better. You know, I feel like Volk won 3 rounds to two. I think he won that second. I think it came down to that second. But I think Volk had the more damage in that round. And I think that's the biggest scoring criteria. So if you're gonna do it like the judges should, Volk dished out the most damage in that round. So I feel like that should have gave him the round. I don't know. What do you think?
When I was watching the fight personally, I thought, all right, here's how I'll phrase it. And I was watching Ariel Hawani, he kind of phrased it the same way. I thought Islam won the fight or won the contest. Volk won the fight, if that makes sense.
Okay, explain.
I think Volk had much he was kind of standing on a higher leg than Islam at the end of the fight. You know, Islam looked a little defeated, looked a little beat up, while Volk was pumped up throughout the championship round. Seemed like he was only getting stronger. But I do think that Islam had it 3-2. But I've yet to rewatch it, so I don't know.
I actually, you know, after watching the first time, I was like, damn, you know, going into it, I was like, I was almost worried that he lost, you know, because I was like, I was looking at it, I'm like, I felt the same way. But after going back and watching it, I changed my mind.
Yeah, I guess I got to rewatch it. I got to get on that soon for sure.
Yeah, rewatch it and tell me what you think, because I'm in the same boat as you. After like, yeah, I was looking at it, and I'm like, damn, I get, you know, going into I wasn't surprised at the decision. You know, I thought it could have gone to Volk, but I wasn't surprised that Islam won. But after going back and watching, I'm like, you know, I would give it to Volk.
All right, all right. Yeah, definitely gotta rewatch that for sure. Um, so now, Brady, I really appreciate you for your time. If you want to drop any social medias to the people watching, any sponsors that you want to shout out, time is yours.
Yeah, you know, my Instagram's Brady_Bam Bam. You can go look at there. I'm gonna come out with some fight T-shirts for this camp. I do a shirt for every camp, so got one coming out soon, and I'll have all my sponsors on the back. That's about it.
All right, Brady. Well, thank you so much for your time today. Everyone here watching, April 15th, Brady Hiestand versus Danaa. Can't wait to see you in action, and really appreciate your time. Hope to speak to you soon,
Yeah,
man.
yeah. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you.
Make sure to subscribe to the LowKickMMA YouTube channel for all the latest news, event previews, and interviews with some of the biggest stars in MMA.